going to have to do how you did with your test account. I tried doing it through like sharing my screen so that everybody in the party could click on it, and it will. I mean, I'll still try that again if the audio will work. It'll do the same effect minus having a secondary account. But if they all click on it while you're streaming.
Yeah, and if you have a secondary account, I hope you have a second computer you can run it on, because I've tried running 2 instances of Roll20 on a single computer, and it doesn't always like that.
Oh, Sirenscape don't go through Roll20. It's separate. It's completely separate it's completely separate from Roll20. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's its own program. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, it was like $20 for all 4 chapters of Dragon Heist for all, like, the whole campaign. Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, and that's tomorrow night. What time? Your time?
8 p.m.
Okay. Well, yeah, I definitely plug that at the end of the night tonight.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Now, I thought I saw a few moments ago. I thought I saw where we had. Oh, there he is.
There's Paul.
Speak of the devil. Hey, Paul.
Everybody jumped in real quick. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
We are glad you are back. And wouldn't you know it, Paul, this was the week that my work projects caught up with me and I got behind. And so the recap is still waiting to get uploaded to YouTube. So
that's absolutely fine. I understand.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't do the recap.
Yeah, it was because it was a long recap because of what happened on Sunday. I've been a little bit inspired by the campaign diaries that Matt Colville does, and when he has a session and something like really cool happens, he'll really break down what was cool about it and why it worked and how it fit into the way he planned it. And Sunday's game had just kind of an epic battle, and it was every bit as much the epic boss fight that I wanted it to be. And the party barely survived. Literally, they had 2 players completely, or 2 PCs completely died in that battle against that boss. So it was meant to be a fight that would push them to the edge, and it did. So I was really pleased, and I talked a lot about it. And then I realized when I went back and I was trying to edit, it's like, oh god, there's a lot to edit here. So
don't worry, I understand the feeling of not having enough time to do anything. Yeah. So were you called into work exceptionally early, or did you have to stay exceptionally late last week? So I got a phone call very, very, very early for me. So normally I go to work around 5, and then I come back either 2, and then I'm either called in again around 6, and I go until 9, or that doesn't happen depending on how many people we've got on staff. I do server maintenance at the NHS servers near a hospital. So that's kind of what I have to do, and you can't really let them go down.
Yeah. So
and we lost some people due to COVID and layoffs.
Sure.
So I was called up as I was actually sleeping a bit earlier than I let you guys know. I was like, okay, I need you to come in right now. There's a lot going wrong, and we demand your services. Like, I absolutely cannot do that. I have other things to do. They're like, nope, you're coming in now.
Okay. Yeah, we were trying to parse what your message meant, and because of course every nationality uses its own terms for things, and I was trying to decide whether it meant that you were what we would consider on call, which it sounds like that's what we would consider on call for IT when you have a set schedule, except when crap goes wrong, then you have to drop everything and go. And I know many of us have had to deal with that in our careers based on our different backgrounds. It's like you get that when you work for the city, you get that when you work for the government, you get that when you work for IT. It's all this hey, all hands on deck, we got some crap going down.
So
stop what you're doing and get here.
Was incredibly illegal, actually. I'm a contract worker. I only work the 4 days a week, and those are all dedicated contract hours. I can't, they can't change them, and neither can I. So what happened last week, they had to pay me in person.
Oh my goodness.
They gave me cash in hand because of how absolutely desperate they were, and because they couldn't actually report it to the finance services.
Did you charge them triple? Because that's what I would have done.
I said, "You're going to pay for my quick lunch here, right?" As well, like, yeah, no, we got you covered. They slapped me an extra 20 quid. I was like, "Yep, that's exactly what I meant."
There you go. All right. Well, yeah, you guys found we decided that Krenraid had too much to drink and was sleeping it off at the Blue Water Inn. So he had a perfectly normal, perfectly safe, perfectly ordinary night. And the rest of the guys took the invitation to go to Lady Wachterhaus' house. And that turned out to be anything but normal.
Wait, so the question is how do we get Krenraid here?
He stumbles over in the morning when he wakes up.
I sleepwalk. I'll find my way to you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he asks directions and he stumbles over.
So is this thing happening the next morning, or is it happening a few hours into the evening? Late in the evening.
We're going to pick up in the morning.
Oh Lord!
We've got about a little less than 2 minutes. Hey, Goonie. See Goonie on the chat. She's from our Sunday game.
Oh no!
And she's also played in the Saturday game.
She's gonna.
Although she's got an exciting thing coming back up now that they're opening back up. She does historical reenactments, and she and her sister are involved with a historical reenactment at one of the forts there in Nebraska. And of course now Nebraska is starting to open back up, which means they're starting to open back up the tourist attractions, which means, hey, Heather, we need you to come and work on the weekends at the. So on Saturdays, she's probably going to have to bow out for certain from the game on Saturday evenings, but which is a real shame because I haven't had a chance to tell her yet. This is the first time she's going to hear it. We are starting the Saturday game with the classic original Tomb of Elemental Evil. That's the one we are doing. 2nd edition D&D. We're going to play through the Tomb of Elemental Evil. So it's like...
we'll have fun killing all your players 20 times over.
Well, the thing is, back in those days, Tomb of Elemental Evil was a campaign for levels 1 through 8, so it was meant to be an introductory adventure.
Well, it's probably
meant to be in quotation marks.
If I was going to go back and play some from older editions, that'd probably be one of them. It's probably a hoot.
Yeah. All right. Well, I see that the countdown has ended. I am going to go and mute the music. All right. And welcome everybody to The Sword Coast Chronicles. It is session 40. Players, can you believe we've actually gotten to 40 sessions of this game?
No.
The Sword Coast Chronicles. We are in the storyline of Curse of Strahd, and the players are in the quaint village of Vallaki in the demi-plane of Barovia. And one of our PCs, Krenraid, had a little bit too much to drink at the Blue Water Inn and wound up sleeping it off at one of the guest rooms upstairs. And the other three wound up accepting an invitation to go to the Wachterhaus last week. And we're guests of Lady Fiona Wachter, her sons, her little pet imp, and her house servant. And the three characters had a very interesting evening. So Mulek and Thaldor were in one of the rooms of one of the adult sons, and they heard some scratching and banging on the wall next door to them, and they eventually discovered that, oh, that's where this mysterious Stella, the daughter of the house, is. And one of the servants, they could hear. They opted not to get involved. They opted not to look, but they could hear one of the servants going in there and physically dragging her back to her bed and restraining her. So for some reason, the daughter needs to be restrained in her room. And that was the evening that Mulek and Thaldor had. Falasher, on the other hand, he flattered Lady Wachter, a widow who has not had the attentions of a man, especially a younger man, in quite a long time. And she led Falasher up to her room. And when Falasher walked in, he saw the late Mr. Wachter, his perfectly preserved corpse, still laying in the bed that Lady Wachter sleeps in every night, 3 years after he died. Until one of the servants came in and very respectfully pulled the copper coins off of the corpse's eyes, hoisted the corpse over his shoulder, and walked out of the room to give Lady Wachter and Falasher some privacy.
Mm-hmm. Let's just say
don't tell me that Falasher went in on that.
Let's just say Heather's watching, and don't judge me. I'm just playing. I'm going to show you how Bard's done. But no, let's just say Falasher as a Bard, he might have pulled a few strings that evening. You know what I mean?
And Heather, if you wonder where Oyahusa's hesitancy comes from, it's this kind of crap that his hesitancy comes from.
I guess Falasher was playing a few high notes that night, wasn't
he? Well, actually, at the end of the session, Falasher rolled a Constitution save, and he has yet to know what it was he was rolling a Constitution save for. So let's go ahead and enlighten him on that. After the corpse is taken out and Lady Wachter and Falasher have their privacy, Lady Wachter says, "Oh, this is so much fun. I haven't had a chance to do this since my husband died." And she reaches down and she unlaces her boots and she takes her boots off. And she goes and she sits cross-legged up at the head of the bed. And she indicates that Falasher should remove his boots. And while he does, she pours 2 glasses of whiskey. And then she points to the foot of the bed for Falliger to sit down. And she hands Falliger a tumbler of whiskey. And then she reaches over to the table beside the bed and she pulls out a pack of cards. And then she pulls out 2 tobacco cigarettes. She lights them and she hands one to Falliger. And then she reaches into the top drawer of that bedside table again, and she pulls out a washed leather coin purse, and she puts it down. And then she starts to shuffle a deck of cards. And she says, "How much do you want to lose tonight, pal?" And she begins to play poker with Falliger. And she's only interested in taking your money.
Oh, thank God it's not strip poker.
All right.
Well, if you count the boots.
Well, if we play poker, how do we decide who won and how much did I win?
Okay, well, we are going to decide that with a few rolls of the dice. Now, poker is a game about bluffing, and a game about trying to figure out where when you have a winning hand and when your opponent has a winning hand. So basically, we are going to play. How about 10 gold a hand? So let's play 5 hands of poker. And basically what it's going to be is it's going to be a just a straight bluff check on your part and on her part.
Okay. What was the Constitution check for?
The Constitution check was to see if you were succumbing to the effects of the alcohol and you were going to get a penalty on your bluff check, which you don't. You passed with flying colors. So
what do I roll?
You get, you roll a bluff check, and she is going to roll a bluff check as well. And so the first hand, go ahead and make your bluff check.
So is that
go to your skills. Wait a minute.
Deception, right?
Oh, yeah. Deception. Okay.
It almost doesn't seem fair.
Yeah. Probably is not. Okay, well, 15 beats her 8, so you win 10 gold. All right, so then there's a second hand that you play, and there's opportunity for conversation. So if there's any information you want to try to get from her, you can try to ask her questions while you guys are playing.
I don't mean to... Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't mean to pry, but do you always have your dead husband in bed with you?
Well, as I said last week, there are only so many souls to go around in Barovia. My dear husband, he is dead for now, but we will be together again. I keep him I keep him here, under the effects of a gentle repose spell, until it is my time to pass, because I know that in the next life we will meet again, and we will be together. And my dear departed Nikolai, he and I met playing poker, and it was our fondest joy. We played poker every night before bed, and I have not. It was the high point of our relationship. The sound of the cards, the clink of the coins, the taste of the whiskey, the odor of the tobacco. It is intoxicating. And I have so longed to have someone to play poker with, even if only for just one night. You'll make an old woman very happy.
I didn't take you for such a romantic. I'm surprised.
Okay, and so the second one, you easily win your 30 beats her 9. So that's another 10 gold that you win. She looks disappointed, but at the same time, she looks kind of excited because this is just fun for her, and you get the feeling like she's probably really pretty rusty, because she hasn't played in quite a while, and whenever she talks about her husband Nikolai, there's a little bit of moisture at the corner of her eyes, so she seems genuinely moved talking about him. All right, so third hand, go ahead and make a deception check.
You seem to be rather wealthy and well connected here in Barovia.
Oh, yes. As I said, we are. Oh, gosh. You had the straight king high. She had the straight queen high. She thought she had you that time. And
I forgive me for asking, but it's important. Do you have any idea where I might be able to get a diamond? Roughly around several hundred gold worth.
Oh, why, yes, I know where you and your friends can get your hands on a diamond. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've won 4 hands. That's 40 gold. And you can tell her coin purse is getting very light. There's not much in it, and eventually she empties it out for the last hand. She says, "Yes, as I mentioned, I can try to get you an audience with our Lord Strahd at Castle Ravenloft, and he, in addition to helping you get back to your homes, he could very easily provide you with a token of his appreciation, which might well include valuable gemstones."
Well, I'm not so sure we're in a hurry to meet your Lord Strahd just yet.
Oh, but why not? It is the honor of a lifetime. Ah. And the crap cards continue for her, and you clean her out. And give me a perception check, if you will. 26. Okay. A nat 20. All right, that's really good.
Second nat 20 of the night. Holy cow!
Yeah. You notice something unusual about the coins. The coins are the standard size, the standard weight, and the standard material. The gold coins are gold, the silver coins are silver, copper coins are copper, etc., etc. But all of the coins bear the same image on the face of them. All of the coins show a very handsome, dark-haired man with very distinct features, and his face is shown in profile, and sitting over his left shoulder there sits sort of a silhouette of a full moon, and over his right shoulder sits a profile of the castle that you have seen up on the high bluff.
So what is it again? I'm sorry. It's like a painting, or
no. That's the image on the coins. So you know how most coins will have like the picture of the ruler, the emperor, or whatever. These all have the picture of the same person, and every coin, regardless of whether it's a copper, a silver, a gold, or whatever, it all bears the same image. And she says, "Oh, well, this is too bad. I am fresh out of coins. Well, my dear, you go ahead and you stretch out and have yourself a nice sleep. I have some work that I must do. I will go to the library. I will spend the rest of the night there working. You have a good rest, my dear." And she puts the cards and puts the coin purse back in the drawer of the table on the bedside, and she laces up her boots, and she goes to the door, and she walks out of the master suite, and you can hear her footsteps going down the hallway. And a few hours later, it's morning. Krenraid, you wake up. You wake up at the Blue Water Inn. As you open your eyes, you kind of wonder what that sensation is, and then as you sit up, you realize that the room is spinning. And then you remember what your old dwarven master told you when you were first learning the ways of, or we first were learning how to swing a weapon. The master said, "Never trust elven wine." And it's like, and then you think to yourself, wait a minute, I'm a dwarf. And you plant first one foot and then the second foot on the floor. You grab the side of the bed, you lean your head over, and then you shake your head for about 5 seconds, and okay, and then the room has quit spinning. And now, whew, well, yeah, you feel a little dehydrated, but other than that, you feel fine.
I'm impressed by myself that I even remembered something so far in the past. Krenraid's going to take a second just to think like, wow, my memory must be really good. I must be really smart, and then carry on his day.
And it's just funny how Krenraid seems to remember the nuggets of wisdom he needs right when he needs them.
It's inspired. Maybe one could even say divinely. I'm a zealot after all.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It's the Moradin and the dwarven pantheon in Dwarfhome. They're shining, smiling down on you. Only a little bit upset that you succumbed and drank some elven wine, but they'll get over it. All right, so you vaguely remember that the others were invited to go to Lady Wachter's, and you look and you see, nobody's spent the night here. You thought that Falager was probably going to share this room with you, and Faldor and Mulek were going to share the other room that you guys secured. And so you go across the hall, and you knock, and there's no answer. And then when you go down to the common room, Edwin Mardikoff tells you that your friends never came back last night. They left, told him that they were going to spend some time over at the Wachter estate. He's a little concerned, but seems to think there probably will be okay. But he just doesn't trust Lady Wachter that well.
Well, that's not concerning at all, is it?
No, and he can give you directions on how you can get over there. And so after a time, you find your way over to the Wachter estate, and you see the same sad, sagging edifice of a house that your friends stumbled into last night. And there's a coop out beside the house that you can hear the clucking of some chickens, and there is a woman, a youngish human woman, dressed in the livery that makes her look like the maidservant of a wealthy house, and she has a basket, and she has one of the pens on the chicken coop open, and she is plucking eggs out from the nest there. And as you walk up,
hail, lass. I don't suppose there is some company inside this here outsider.
And she jumps a little bit, and she turns and she says, yes, Master Falager and the others, they are here. They say they had a companion named Krenraid. Would that be you?
Yes, that would indeed be me. You have a great eye to recognize one as great as myself.
And she kind of bites her lip a little bit and looks a bit uncertain. Well, Master Krenraid, please come in. I'm not sure the others are awake yet, but we're starting to get breakfast ready.
Well, I don't want to interrupt your work. I can go find them myself if I need to. That's fine.
Oh, well, they will be coming down for breakfast, or we will set a place for you. That will be no trouble.
I kind of want to take in the fresh air. I'm still feeling a bit droughted, to be honest. I'll probably wait out here if that's all right. Let me know when they're up.
Oh, you can wait out here. Yes. Just if I may say so, sir. I would be careful. I would be careful being too near the road. You have an unusual look for folk in Barovia and in Valaki, and Isaac Strasny he does not like unusual. I'm afraid that if he sees you, and especially if he sees you by yourself, and especially if he sees you by yourself here in front of Lady Wachterhaus, he might take it upon himself to contrive a reason for you to be arrested. You can wait outside. Yes, we have a little porch behind the house. If you would like to wait there.
Well, that's very considerate of you. Thank you ever so much. That sounds lovely. I'll just wait back there, then that's okay.
Oh, yes, that's wonderful. Can we bring you any refreshment water or coffee or hot tea while you wait for your friends?
That's very kind of you. I'd love a drink of water.
Oh, very well. And so she just sort of sweeps her hand towards the back of the house, and then she closes up the hutch on the hen house, and then she walks into the side entry of the house, going into the kitchen, and you can hear her calling for a cup of water. And you get around, and there's this whole house just is old, and the furniture out on the patio, it's serviceable, but it looks like the house looks like it's been here for well over 2 centuries, and the furniture kind of looks like it's original. So it's human-made furniture, and it's made from wood. So your dwarven, spidey senses kind of like, oh, human craftsman with wood, 200 years old.
They really should have made this out of stone.
Yeah, but you test it, and it seems solid enough, and then you kind of put some weight on it, and it seems solid enough, and you sit down, and other than it being a little bit damp from the night air, it's fine. It seems solid enough. Bit uncomfortable, not as comfortable as a nice solid stone chair, of course, but it's got its own sort of comfort to it. And in the morning, or inside the house, the three of you start to smell. Something's cooking in the kitchen. It smells good. There's the aroma of some eggs and probably sausages and some bacon cooking and whatnot. And how early does Falliger get up?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Or does he kind of like to sleep in when he gets the chance?
Yeah, he likes to sleep in when he gets the chance.
Oh, okay. Excellent. I love it when a player gives the DM the answer that he wants to hear. So you're sleeping in, and suddenly there's a knock on the door. And without waiting for you to respond, the door pushes open, and you see the face of, well, it's either Nikolai or Carl. It's one of the twins. You haven't been around them enough to figure out sort of which one is which, but one of those names goes with that face, and he says, "Oh, Mother wanted us to bring Father back. Afraid you'll have to get up." And he pushes into the room, and behind him is his other brother and Ernst, and they are carrying the corpse of the deceased elder Nikolai Wachter, And then behind them, there's a pair of housemaids. And so everybody kind of sort of looks at Falliger until he gets out of bed. And then the maidservants, they go and they make the bed up, and they get everything nice and neat and tidy and everything. And then Ernst and the two brothers, they lay their father's corpse down on his side of the bed. They put rearrange his hands and arms the way they were before, and they place the copper coins on his eyes. And then they say, "Oh yes, breakfast is ready. You can come on down with us."
All right, thank you. I'll be down there in a minute. And he gathers his stuff and finishes getting ready, and he goes downstairs for breakfast.
Okay. And Mulek and Thaldor, across the hall from them, there's a knock on your door. And when you open it, you see one of the two brothers has his head stuck in to the room where Falliger has been staying. And the other brother and Ernst are standing outside. Ernst has the elder Nikolai Wachter's corpse draped over his shoulder once again. And the person knocking on your door is one of the maidservants and says, "Oh, yes, we're just waking your companion. Breakfast is ready. You all can nip on off downstairs, and breakfast will be served momentarily." And then one of the women says, "Oh, and I think your friend Krenraid has come from the inn. He's downstairs. He will be taking breakfast with us."
I look over at Mulek and go, "About time he showed up. That's not the weird thing I've seen today."
Yeah, and it appears Falliger made it through the night as well.
I wasn't too much worried about Captain C. I know he can handle himself.
Thank you. Well, it smells delicious. We'll be down shortly.
Oh, very well. And so then they sort of bundle into the room, and they bustle Falliger out of the room, and you can hear they're sort of making up the bed and getting Nikolai back in his accustomed position to resume his gentle repose in the marriage bed. So you guys head downstairs, and there's breakfast. Okay, let's go to the map of the house. I
was hoping Falliger wakes up to a corpse laying next to him. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been great. He's like, "Did I sleep with the corpse?"
Okay, someone pries open his eyes and makes him smile as well.
Those aren't pillows.
Drapes his arm over the corpse, wakes up.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Were we at Bernie's? Were we at Bernie's all this time? Okay,
that's a great weekend.
That was a wonderful weekend.
And then that's what I was looking for. I was looking for this. There we go. We'll bring Krenraid over here. Okay, and then Lady Wachter. She's also going to join everyone for breakfast. Ernst will join everyone for breakfast. And so Mulek, Faliger, and Thaldur, you see Krenraid there.
Krenraid, it's good to see you on your feet again.
It's good to see you guys as well. I'm glad I didn't miss all of the fun. Although I must say, something stinks.
Are you sure it's not you, Kenraid?
It's true, it could be. I had a sweaty note.
Mulek sniffs his armpits.
Yeah, actually, Faliger smells like perfume.
Well, these eggs look delicious. He starts eating.
Yeah, I don't mind if I join you as well here. Move over and sit down.
Yeah. Okay. And Lady Wachter, she is a woman in her, what do we say? This is medieval days, and she's got 2 adult sons who basically have been grounded, as the others found out last week, for fibbing to their mother. But the Lady Wachter, she's in her late 50s, early 60s, very severe. She has a very expensive looking but faded green dress on. And this morning she has her interesting collar back. The collar of her dress looks like it's almost got like ribs on it, and those ribs almost look like they have scales on them. And there's a very elaborate brooch at her neck. And if you look really closely, Krenraid, you'll notice that brooch actually has 2 eyes, and every now and then they blink.
How's her mood compared to what it was yesterday?
She seems very she seems almost happy. She says, "So, have you 3 had an opportunity to consider my offer?"
Well, I guess we hadn't really talked about it yet. How'd y'all sleep last night?
It was okay. Thank you for your hospitality, Lady Wachter.
Oh, you're welcome. You found the floor not too uncomfortable, I hope?
No, it helps stretch my back out. Every once in a while I have to do that, but I appreciate it.
And Ernst says, Lady Wachter, I would have spoken to you earlier, but I know that you were busy. Stella disrupted their sleep some last night. And at that, Lady Wachter's mood darkens a little bit. And she says, "Oh, gentlemen, I am sorry about that. As I said last night, my Stella, she has not been the same since that goat of a son of the Burgomeister refused her, thinking that a life of study and books would be better than life with my precious Stella."
Where's your daughter? I figured she'd be down here eating with us.
My daughter, she needs a special care. She is unfortunately not well enough to leave her room.
Well, I'm
Such
a bit of a healer. If you'd like me to look at her, might be able to help.
And then, Falliger, you get the coldest stare that you have ever seen from Lady Wachter. It's like she's just looking through you. And she says, I think I shall not be allowing you anywhere near my daughter.
Well. Alrighty then.
And she says, besides, there is someone who knows how to give my Stella the care that she needs. And Krenraid, she reaches up to her throat and she places her hand kind of next to that amulet. And as she does, you see that this amulet and collar starts to uncoil itself from around her neck. And it crawls onto her hand. And as it sits up, what you see is an imp that she holds in her hand. And she strokes its head with a finger. And she says, yes, Majesto, I think you must go and tend to Stella. She has been a naughty girl. You
Looking
must
over to the rest of the party, like, what the
you must discipline her, my precious. And then she kisses the imp on its little gnarled head, and she holds her hand out, and then kind of like a parakeet or something, it just flaps its wings and flies off of her hand and goes over towards the stairs and flies up towards the second floor of the house.
Well, if you don't mind, madam, I had a wonderful time last night, but I think we might want to get out of here pretty early if we want to catch those fish that we were wanting to fish today before the sun gets out and gets too hot. You know what I mean?
Well, yes, and speaking of the sun, keep my offer in mind. If you make a friend of the family of Wachter, then I can make a friend of the ruler of Barovia to you. And as I said, at Castle Ravenloft, you may find those gems you are seeking for the purposes that you need. And so do you guys...
If I find one, I'll definitely bring one by just for you. And he kind of smiles and finishes his drink, pushes his chair back, stands up. Boys, y'all about ready?
As ready as I'm ever going to be.
Okay, and so Ernst stands up, ever the helpful servant. He stands up and sort of, ushers you all out of the house. He doesn't try to push you out, or he doesn't try to prevent you from leaving, but he just sort of walks you to the door.
No one answered her question, right?
Not yet.
And as I recall, there were two offers last night. I believe there was one to disrupt the festival and one to bring Strahd's love.
No. Okay. The only offer she can make is about the festival. She was telling you about a favor that you might be able to do for Strahd that would make him your ally.
Gotcha.
But basically, she's going to make the introductions to Strahd, and then he would sort of fill you in on the details.
So as we're walking out, Mulek will just look back and we'll answer and say, I'll see what I can do about the festival.
And she smiles at you and she says, I like you, Mulek. You're a good boy.
And I give kind of an uncomfortable nod and then walk out.
Okay. And you guys get out to the street, and just as a orientation, you guys are right here at this area here in front of the Wachterhaus. The inn where you're staying is back here. The toy shop is back here. You passed a church here yesterday, and then obviously the Vistani camp is over to the west. And then to the north, if you went north from this house, you would go out the north gate and head towards the lake.
So, does one of you want to tell me how that went? Because it feels like it went well, but yeah.
I ain't saying shit until we get further away from this house.
Yeah, Conrad, we'll catch you up when we get a little further out, buddy.
Sounds reasonable.
So where would you guys like to head? Someplace that you've been before, or do you want to go exploring the town?
Does Krenraid share with us what the woman told him outside the house regarding the about what's his name? The big scary guy, Izak.
Izak Strasny.
Izak. Feelings towards dwarves.
He's already forgotten it.
All right.
Well, and to be fair, you guys, when you were all together earlier in the day yesterday, you got similar warnings from several people.
Okay.
About Izak Strasny.
Yeah, my vote is the festival is still a few days out, right? 4 days, I believe, or 3 days now, maybe.
Yeah, actually, I had the timeline wrong. I think I said 4 days from yesterday, but it's actually 3 days from yesterday. So now it's 2 days out.
Right, 2 days out. Well, my vote is to go back and visit the Vistani, see if they've to see if the lady's back, whatever her name was.
The grandma?
Yeah, the great aunt Eva.
Eva. Yeah, Eva.
Unless any of you guys have anything else you want to look around here. It would be nice to get some gems and some other items, but
from the way they talk, we're not going to find any gems in this town.
I can't see an easy way.
For that matter.
Yeah, Faldor, I'm going to give this to you as a muckety muck from the Fandolin Thieves Guild. You can take like 5 strides into a town, and there's like a little accountant's ledger that goes off in your head that says, what would I expect to find in this town if I were looking around for stuff? And you think that aside from James, I think we're hearing an echo again. All right, thanks. You think that aside from a place like Lady Wachter's house, about the best you could find in this town is maybe a well-made sword or a well-made piece of armor. These people are pretty poor. There's not a lot of wealth here. You can tell it by the their clothes. You can tell it by the state of repair of the houses. You can tell it by just sort of the goods that you see displayed in the windows of shops and those types of things.
I got you. So I'll relay that information to the group.
Yeah.
But at the same time, knowing what Mulek told me that Abinadom said, Thaldor is going to think on his head. You said they might make a well-made sword. They might make certain things. There might be one or two highly skilled craftsmen in the town. I want to make silver-tipped crossbow bolts.
Okay.
Why are you wanting to make that?
As I'm saying, it's like I'm talking to Mulek, and I look over. I go, okay, so my uncle Abinadom, who he knows, not related, but I call him Uncle Abinadom, told us, in passing, that this town is full of vampires, werewolves, and other scary things. So, I want silver-tipped arrows or silver-tipped crossbow bolts.
Wait a minute. I don't want to talk too much about it. Let's just say last night I did get lucky. But are you telling me I could have been in bed with a vampire?
I don't think she was a vampire. I just think all the stuff you saw comes from old family wealth, just from what I would know from scoping this place out. So no, I don't think she was a vampire.
Did y'all find out any? I'm hoping that while I was distracting her, maybe y'all were able to find it. Did y'all even try to peek around a little bit?
You know me better than that, Fallister. Come on now. How long we've been traveling together? You know I searched this house.
Well, it was kind of an open-ended question.
True. But no, the only thing I found was a library that was really destitute and nothing but a writing desk with some papers and it looks like a wax seal and a bunch of cats. Yeah.
When you say a bunch, how many?
Like 6, 7, maybe? Well, I would know exactly the number.
Yeah, it was 8.
Yeah. 8 cats. 8 cats. I threw them a piece of jerky and they just ignored me, so it was okay.
That's weird. Well, what about the library? Did you find out?
It was destitute. Like I said, there was really nothing in there. Not a lot of books, nothing of interest that I would give to Mulek. Just it was destitute except for the writing desk that had paper. I looked through the desk. There was nothing in the desk but paper and things, nothing of importance.
Well, that's odd because when I was, when we were done last night, she said, well, I need to go to the library and get some work done. But what the hell was she doing there if there was nothing there but cats?
Maybe writing letters, I guess, or just playing with her cats. I don't know. But like I said, there was really nothing of interest in the room. Trust me, I searched everything. There was really nothing in there. So, and then I searched.
I'm assuming she didn't even go to sleep then?
I'm not sure. I went in there after you went in your bedroom with her, and then me and Mulek were in there for probably about 10 minutes. Then I pretty much checked the doorway, made sure nobody was in the hallway, and went through and started searching. I didn't search the room next to us because it sounded horrible. And I guess that's where the little girl was staying at.
Wait a minute. Y'all heard a little girl and you didn't do anything about it?
It kind of scared me. And that sounds odd, but very disturbed. Like when I got back to the room, me and Mulek were listening through the wall and it was very disturbed.
Well, she couldn't have been little, right? She was betrothed to be married, but then got turned down, right?
I think, right. So
she was scratching on the walls.
Oh.
Very creepy.
And somebody going into that room that she doesn't know would probably been a bad idea.
Yeah, and Thaldor and Mulek, judging by the family portraits that you see, you would guess that the daughter is probably somewhere between, like 5 and 7 years younger than the boys are. Basically because in one of the portraits, the father is holding the infant daughter in his arms, and the boys are standing in front of him and the mother, and they're 5 to 7 years old, in that range. And then in another family portrait where the boys are just about to come of age, the girl is, she's starting to sort of blossom into that early teen, preteen, early teen. So she's beginning to take on more womanly appearance, but still clearly a younger girl.
Well, when you say it was scary, I mean, what about her was off?
I think Mulek just mentioned something.
Right.
So you guys were in a house of horrors. That's what it sounds like to me.
She was talking about cats or something and scratching on the walls.
Talking about cats?
Yeah, it was weird.
Well, I'm glad I didn't hear anything. I would have been obliged to investigate regardless of what had happened.
You guys not at all concerned about that weird-ass pet she had, which she then sent to go help her daughter?
You mean that damn imp?
Oh, whatever the hell that thing was, yeah. It didn't look friendly.
Well, I'll tell you right now, from a clergy standpoint, imps don't... let's just say that they don't do anything for free, so there's got to be some kind of pact or bond between her and that thing. And they're pretty evil, so I just want to get the hell away from there as fast as possible. I just don't think we're going to find anything around here. Nobody wants to be helpful. Everybody's scared to talk anything. We got... Apparently, she told me last night there's only so many souls that are allowed in Brovia at one time. And that's why her dead husband gets laid next to her every night, just in case that there's a soul that can inhabit his body, and she preserves him. All right?
What?
This woman is batshit crazy, okay? I'm telling you, everybody around here is batshit crazy. I think we ought to go to that castle. We ought to sneak in and see if we can find a way to get the hell out of here.
Well, I haven't heard anything that said the castle is the way out of here. It's always been something about the mist.
Well, look what everybody's been talking. It's all Lord Strahd this and Strahd that, and yada yada. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but these people seem kind of poor, don't they, Thal? This city, I mean, I just don't... It's just weird. Everybody acts weird. Now you want to melt down silver for weapons?
I don't know. I'm with him on that. If there's really some monsters here, I'd rather have weapons than not. I look at my hammer and yeah, I'm kind of feeling that need myself, actually. Well, I don't have enough silver coins.
What do you think, Thaldor? Do you think we should just continue roaming around and getting dead ends and no help?
The only place we can go is the castle, apparently. I mean, I don't want to. The place creeps me out just looking at it, but I guess we got to do what we got to do.
Well, I'm telling you right now, that woman was trying to offer us a deal, but I don't trust anybody who keeps company with imps, all right? And that's just, I'm going to say that right now.
All right.
Either way, we're going to end up in that castle at some point or another. How we get there is up to us, I guess.
So you guys, I'm just going to presume that leaving the Lady Wachterhaus, somebody had mentioned the Vistani, so that you guys would start going south, or would anybody insist that you all are going north towards the lake?
Well, Theodore did request that we stop by a blacksmith and get some silver and stuff melted down.
Yeah, I'd rather do that at Vistani as well. Not gonna lie, they might have a forge or at least some bellows.
Okay, so let's figure out.
I am curious what Mulek meant when deal with the festival. What was that about?
I think we should go back and talk to them and just ask them bluntly, like what kind of magical creatures and shit are running around? Like, we saw an imp with lady such and such. We know this. What other kind of magical creatures and shit like that has been running around this Barovia that we should look out for? Try to just gain some more general knowledge. And I mean, I don't know. That's what I think.
She wanted us to cause havoc at the festival, similar to the Burning Man at the Druid party we left a while ago. She wants us to kind of ruin the Burgomeister's festival and burn up his statue thing or whatever that he's going to have before they're ready to light it up.
Yeah, but why?
What do we get out of it as well, huh?
I don't know if she said what she would give us. I don't recall. Yeah, I was just stringing her along. She had asked the question. I said I'd look into it. I didn't make any promises.
Okay, so you guys, I guess Blinsky had vaguely told you about a place where you could buy some stuff, a stockyard. That was the closest thing that he had mentioned to any kind of craftsman or anything in town. And he had pointed off sort of towards the southeast from his shop.
Are we talking about Arasek, the general supply shop?
Talking about Arasek's stockyard, yes.
Stockyards, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, where they would have general supplies and occasionally they would have mounts available for purchase. And so, given that, I'll say that you all would normally head south. And as you do, when you get close to the intersection where the Blue Water Inn is located, you see a familiar figure step out from beside a building where he's apparently been, just watching the road and trying not to be seen. And Mulek, you recognize, all of you would recognize this as the figure of Rictavio from the Blue Water Inn, the old man that said he had been part of a carnival. And he...
Thanos.
Yeah, Rictavio. I can't remember that we called him Thanos. Okay.
Yeah,
Thanos. So Thanos. Rictavio. So
Rictavio Thanos, also known as Rictavio, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he waves you over towards him, and you see that he is walking not back directly towards the inn like he's going to go inside, but to go around the outside of the inn. And then he looks to see if you all are going to follow him.
Yeah. He's kind of motioning us like he wants to. Yeah. I'll motion to the rest of the guys to say, hey, let's go chat with this guy.
Okay, so he leads you around the side of the inn, and you can see over. Okay, you can wait. Does it show the thing here? No, it doesn't show it anywhere on here. So we don't have it on the map. All right, never mind. He leads you around the side of the inn to his wagon, and his wagon is very colorful, and there's a it's got faded gold paint on it that says Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders, and there's it's got a little raised area in the middle of the wagon above the barrel roof, and that looks like it might be kind of like a little attic storage area up there above the wagon. And then you notice that there are two sets of doors. One is on one side, and one is on the back, and they are two double doors. And the doors on the back have small, high windows that are set with heavy bars, and there are no windows on the doors on the side. But both sets of doors are covered with two very heavy crossed chains, and in the middle where the chains cross, there's a large padlock on both sets of doors. And where he leads you to is he leads you sort of around to the front of the wagon, where there's a little awning and a bench that can comfortably seat 2 or 3 people. And he just sort of goes up to the wagon, and he sort of leans against the bench and puts a foot up on one wheel, and he says, "So, friends, you left the inn last night, and you survived. Tell me, if I may pry, where did you go?"
Oh, you remember those 2 boys that were making fun of those women last night?
Aye, the Wachter boys.
Let's just say we paid the family a visit.
Oh. You all are braver than I thought. And yet you survived. I would not tread under the roof of that house for all the gold in Barovia, which I can't say is probably very much. And then you see up on the roof of the inn next to you, you hear a caw, caw. And you look up and you see that there's like 3 ravens sitting up there. And one of them is squawking, and another one is looking at the one that's squawking, and the third one kind of has its head tilted in that way that ravens do, and it just sort of seems to have one of its eyes looking down at the wagon where you guys are talking to Rictavio. And Rictavio just looks up and he smiles a little bit. He says, yes, I know.
This guy's nuts. He's talking to birds.
That's not crazy.
What is his name?
His name is Rictavio. Somebody in chat spent some coins to rename him Thanos when you saw him before, but I can't remember that.
When we walked up to the cage, did Mila hear inside the barred and caged section of the wagon?
No, there's The wagon, there's not a cage. It's all wooden. The only bars are on the high windows on the back doors. They're far too high for you to look in.
Okay. Are they enclosed like glass, or just are they open?
No. Open.
Right, but I don't hear anything. There's no sounds coming from inside.
Not at the moment.
Okay. So I'll say, well, Rictavio, why are you surprised that we survived the visit to Lady Wachter?
Well, because she is a woman with dangerous friends.
Like?
Well, let's just say that the roving eye of a Vistani girl is not the only reason that the Vistani have to mistrust me.
Would you care to elaborate on that point, perhaps?
I would be more interested in learning what you thought of your hostess last night. Did you find Lady Wachter an agreeable and congenial host?
I think that she was nice enough to find out what she wanted from us, but I don't trust her as far as I could throw her.
A wise man. Well, and then he looks back up at the ravens and he says, "You see, I told you they were friends." And one of the ravens goes, "Squawk! Squawk!"
Okay, I gotta ask, how do you speak bird? That's a language I want to learn.
Friend, who says I speak bird? Have you ever considered that they might understand common?
That would be real convenient if they did. I wouldn't have to learn anything. Hello, Mr. Bird. How are you?
Squawk!
That's good to know.
Oh my God. Here goes Grenade talking with birds.
Two of the ravens then flutter and fly off. And the one just remains there, kind of hopping along the edge of the roof and just sort of looking down on you all. And Rictavio says, they're friends of the owners of this place. They're good folk to know. Of all of the creatures you find here in Barovia, the ravens are perhaps the only ones that you can trust. It's true some of the creatures here are natural, but many are corrupted by this land's dark lord.
How do you know so much about the creatures in this area of Barovia?
And why do you want to share it with us? Second question.
Well, as for the first question, let's just say I'm a collector of sorts. You, Master Bard, you're a collector of songs. And, unless I miss my guess, you're a collector of stories as well.
Well, that's not all I collect, but yeah, you're on the right track.
Me, I'm a collector of lore. And not just any lore, but the lore of how to deal with the forces of darkness and how to bring the light to places that have seen too much shadow. And then he kind of climbs up and he sits on the bench of the wagon. And as the wagon shifts, you guys hear a snarl from inside the wagon. And then the wagon lurches and it sort of shudders, and there's a bang as something large and heavy slams against the inside of the inside of the wagon.
What?
You hear what sounds like a cracking of wood, scraping of metal, and the snarl of something inhuman.
My friend, what do you have in your carriage here?
And he smiles at you and he says, he says, that is my pet. That is my Fluffy.
Must take a lot to feed that thing. It sounds huge.
Oh, it sounds strong as well.
Yes, it has found a rich hunting ground here in Barovia.
Is this pet something you had with the circus before, or something you acquired after coming here?
Oh, Fluffy and I have had many adventures together. I got Fluffy when he was but a cub. And he says, but that reminds me, he's hungry. And he reaches over and he opens a leather sack that has been sitting beside him, or that has been sitting on the bench. And he reaches in and he picks up a big slab of wolf meat. And he looks at Krenraid. He says, Krenraid, you were putting away plenty of this last night. Would you like to feed Fluffy?
I would love to feed such a wonderful creature. Let me have a look at it. Walk up and grab the meat and just walk around the back.
Okay, well, actually, he takes you around the side, because the side is more sheltered from view of anything except a blank wall of the inn. And you notice that there are a couple of ravens up on the roof of that side. And so he goes and he fishes a key out of his pocket and he unlocks the padlock holding the chains, and he says, Fluffy, breakfast time. A guest has your food. Please take your food. Do not take the guest.
Yeah, cutie.
And he slides the doors open about a foot. And at first you guys don't see anything, but then approaching the opening, you see an enormous saber-toothed tiger. And this is not just a run-of-the-mill saber-toothed tiger, but you can tell that at the back of its head and then kind of over its back and down along its chest, it has been fitted with some plate mail barding. So it's like an armored saber-toothed tiger.
Oh, I like Fluffy.
And you have like a 5-pound steak, and Fluffy just sniffs the air, and then he just sort of, he's got those big fangs that are coming out of his upper jaw anyway, but then he just sort of curls his lip back in kind of like a sneer, and his eyes are just sort of focused on you and that wolf steak.
I'm going to move the wolf steak from left to right, like, who wants his steaky wakey?
And Rictavio puts a hand on your shoulder and says, it's not wise to make him wait for his breakfast.
Oh,
he sometimes gets impatient.
I hate waiting for breakfast too. I'll just lob the meat at him.
And he reaches a paw out, and as he does, his claws sort of extend, and he just jams his claws through the steak and pulls it to his mouth, and then he disappears back into the shadows of the wagon, and then you can just hear him.
How long have you had that? How long have you had Fluffy?
He is adorable, guys. Oh my god, he's the cutest thing.
Except when he can rip your face off.
That's what's so cute about him.
Fluffy is probably 6 years old by now. Fully grown. If the gods are kind, he has another 10, 12 years.
Mulek's thinking, man, I wish I had one of those in my bag of tricks.
I bet he does.
And he says, would it surprise you if I told you that Barovia was a land where werewolves and vampires and other creatures of evil walk in the night?
If you would have told me that yesterday, maybe. Not anymore.
No, we know that. And if you've got a lead on silvered weapons, we'd appreciate it.
Ah, silvered weapons. You boys may be bold, but you're not stupid. And then he says, all right, Fluffy, rest well. I'll let you hunt again tonight. And then he closes the doors of the wagon, and he pulls the chains back down and locks them up again. And he says, come with me. And he leads you back around to the front of the wagon, and he grabs the bench and he pushes the bench up. And it sort of, it's one of those benches where the back is hinged. And as he pushes it up, you see that the entire base of the bench from side to side is just like a long chest, and the seat forms the cover of the chest, basically. And as he looks in there, he says, as it happens, I have several things that might be of use. Now, Mulek, do you carry a crossbow openly?
No, I don't have a crossbow.
Who
I have the crossbow. Yeah, Thaldor has a crossbow.
Do you carry it openly, Thaldor?
It's a light crossbow, isn't it, or heavy? Let me look. Hold on. That would dictate whether I carry it heavy or soft. Hold on.
I carry a light crossbow as well.
Oh, okay. So
Fighting all out, if we could get some silver ingots, I could probably do the work.
He says, I think this might be of use to you.
It's a light crossbow, so I could probably sling that underneath my blade, my duster or something.
Okay, all right. He looks at Fowler and says, this would probably be of use to you. I'll have to replace these, so if you have any means of paying, it would be appreciated. But he pulls out a little quarrel that has crossbow bolts in it. And as he pulls one out, he shows it to you, and the tip of the crossbow bolt is silver.
Nice.
And he puts it back in. He says, I have 20 of these.
Well, perhaps you just give them to my friend Thaldor here, and I prefer this. And he just kind of raises up this magical warhammer.
Oh, that's true. He does have a magical weapon. That's true.
And he nods, and he offers he holds the crossbow bolts out towards Thaldor. He says, now normally in a civilized land, it would cost me 1 gold each to replace these, but here the price is more dear, but I will not rip you off. If you have 20 gold, it would be appreciated. If you have 20 gold worth of silver coins, that might be more useful to me.
Huh. You were thinking the same thing I was. Like you said, I'm pretty smart because I was about to ask Crinraid. Crinraid, you know how to swing that hammer really good, don't you?
Uh-huh.
I was going to ask you, if I gave you, say, 40 silver, I know it's sad to demolish money, and Thaldor's just almost crying, but no, Thaldor likes money, trust me. So I look at it, I'm like, if I gave you 60 silver, could you turn these into more crossbow bolts? If I gave you the bolts to do it?
I don't see why not. I'd have to have access to a smeltery and a cast, but I don't see why not. I'd also like to do that to my own weapon now I think about it. Just wiggles his hammer in the air. But I could provide the silver. We just need to find the forge.
Right. Well, that's fine. So I give him the 20 gold. Actually, I give him 25 gold and 5 silver.
I have a question.
Okay. Sure.
So, like, magical weapons, so say, like, ranged weapons, do they deal magical damage on the damage type that they deal, or is it actually the ammunition that deals the damage? Or does the magical weapon turn normal ammunition into magical?
Yeah, the way I've always played it is that if the arrows are magical, or if the crossbow / the bow are magical, then it confers, the magic on the projectile when it fires. So if you have a normal bow with magic arrows, you're good. If you have a magic bow with normal arrows, it still deals magical damage.
Hit the nail on the head, yeah.
But if, let's say, you had a magical long-range weapon, and then you shot a silvered arrow, does the arrow do additional damage on top of the weapon damage?
It would do any. Well, in the hierarchy, in sort of Maslow's hierarchy of D&D things, most of the time, a magical weapon is better than a silvered weapon, because there's a lot of things that will take only half damage from normal weapons that are not silvered, but they take full damage from magical weapons anyway. Okay. And there's very rarely anything, and I'd be hard pressed to say anything from 5th edition. And go back to older editions is different, but there's hardly anything in 5th edition that says it will take half damage from magical weapons, but will take full damage from silvered weapons. That almost never happens. If it takes full damage from non-magical silvered weapons, it takes full damage from any magical weapons, regardless of whether they're silvered or not. So that's a long way of saying if you have a +1 crossbow and a non-magical silvered crossbow bolt, then when you fire it, it becomes in essence a +1 silvered crossbow bolt.
You're getting the better of that world there, so that's good.
Yeah. So, then he...
See, I don't have any magical weapons, guys. That's why I needed the silver crossbow bolts. If he had a silver dagger, I'd pay him for that too, just to have something on hand.
What are your weapons?
Do you say? Hold on. Do you say that out loud, Thaldor?
Yeah,
that you don't have any magic. He says, "Oh, well, then if you should find yourself, out of or in melee range, you might want to take this." And he picks up a short sword in a scabbard, and he pulls it part way out of the scabbard, and you see that it's a silvered blade on the short sword.
Now that I can use. How much?
He says, For you, 25 gold or enough silver to silver another short sword.
So you'd want... Now I have... Hold on, let me see. On me, I have 68 silver and a short sword.
Oh.
So
then basically give him 25 silver. And he'll
my short sword. Okay, so I'm trading a short sword for a silvered short sword, and
okay, that's even better.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because I have a regular one. Yeah, you said. I thought that's what you said. Give him a short sword and silver, and he'll give me the magic.
No. I said he would charge you either 25 gold, or he would charge you enough silver to do another short sword.
Oh, okay. So just give him the
if you're gonna offer him the 25 silver and the regular short sword, he'll gladly take it. But the short sword is not necessary for the bargain.
So he would want enough silver to cover. I can't convert because I don't have enough silver.
It's 25 silver is fine. It's the quantity silver of coins. 25 coins is what, but he would need the 25 gold to basically go buy another short sword and then get enough silver to coat it. That's basically what he was trying to tell you.
Okay, fine. I'll trade him for the silver short sword. I mean, the short sword's a short sword to me, except that one's coated with silver. That's fine.
Okay.
So it does me the same effect.
Yeah, give him the silver coins, and then give him your regular short sword. He gives you the silver short sword. Then he says, "I don't suppose none of you look like you're particularly devout."
I'm the most devout as they come.
Well, I mean, I guess what do you mean by devout exactly?
I mean, has any of you taken orders from, or have a blessing from the gods to receive the touch of the divine?
I'd like to consider myself touched by at least two major deities, if I may.
And I certainly have become friends with one, although he doesn't give me orders. He's more like a good pal.
Have you ever heard of the god Corleon?
Oh, Corleon. Yes, of course. Corleon, the deity of the elves. He's a good one to have on your side. Well, I'm afraid I don't have anything that is that would be blessed by Coralon, but if you know Coralon, you may know the deity that blessed this. And he fishes out a wooden holy symbol. It's inlaid with silver, and it is in the shape of a sunburst. And you guys can all give me a religion check, and Fallager, you have a lower DC, and you can make your religion check at advantage.
Oh wow, I don't already know what it is. Okay. Religion. Well, that doesn't help me.
That tracks.
And Saldor.
There you go.
Okay. Mulek, Krenraid, and Thaldor, it's not familiar to you. And Fallager, at first you're like, that doesn't look like any holy symbol I'm familiar with. And then you realize, oh, wait a minute. You have seen that before. And you kind of think back in your memory, and this is an ancient version of the holy symbol of Lathander, the Morning Lord. The Lord of Light, he is sometimes called, or the Lord of the Morning, as he's sometimes called.
That's an old style symbol of Lathander, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, and sir, I will give this to you.
Well, that's mighty kind of you. It's a very gracious gift. I am a cleric. I probably should have let you know that. But I'm a cleric of Helm, though.
Coralon and Helm. Boy, now that's a combination you don't often find. But
I blame my father.
I suppose in some corner of the Elysium Fields, you might find them occasionally drinking in the same tavern. And then, of course, the Morning Lord. He has a special enmity towards creatures of the darkness.
Yeah, he's let's just say people that deal with his church are pretty what's the word? Devout, I guess, is a kind way to say it.
Yes, they are. And
what does it do? If I'm sorry, can you tell me what it does?
I can tell you, and I will tell you in 10 minutes, right after we take a little break. I have 37 minutes after the hour, so let's go ahead and take about 10 minutes. Last week, we got so carried away, we didn't even take a break at all. I want to make sure that I don't cheat the guys out of a break tonight. I'm going to put the slate up and put the music back up, and we will be back in about 10 minutes. I will mute myself. Thank you, chat, for hanging out with us tonight. And you can put any questions that you have about the session or anything in, and we'll try to answer those before we resume the session after our break. So here you go. Let me bring the music up for you. And I'll be back in a few minutes.
I don't know why I said Corleone.
I was about to say that. What is this, The Godfather?
I know it. I was like, God damn it. I won't say anything. I'll just go with it.
You may as well. I mean, at this point, to make it up. That is the new god. He's the Godfather god. He blesses
he's
all
the father of all gods.
The big boss.
I'll make you a cleric. It's an offer you can't refuse.
This on the eve of my daughter's wedding.
the day you were to be blessed with my blessings.
You shall go out and smite the wicked in my name.
And if they don't give you their protection money, you just take it.
You take it good. And you make them know who the Godfather is.
Yeah, I could totally silver stuff. But I need to make a cast first with some wood, which I should be able to do. I've got the tools. And then we'll need to access to a forge, specifically an anvil as well. We need to heat up the metal and
we got a traveling anvil with us, so that's easy. The anvil is, but the forge part.
We've got the anvil. We've got an anvil with us.
Isn't it odd though?
Yeah,
guys? Like,
he plays in the band.
Isn't it odd that everywhere we go in this fucking place, like someone's always trying to make us a deal to be an ally or not, or not really an ally, I guess, creepy. But like everywhere we go, it's somebody like wants us to do something for them. Like I get the feeling like this place is like, I don't know, very. I feel like it's like designed to make us pick sides or something, and then.
Oh, don't worry about that. There's no problem with that with Curse of Strahd. You can do your own thing, and it will follow up. There will be things relating to what you're doing.
Are there any bad consequences for like?
Tons.
There's got to be tons of bad. Like,
there's more bad than good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just like, part of me is like, I don't make deals with anybody because it's like shit will get bad.
Well, it might get bad if you don't do deals with somebody. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to give any spoilers at all.
I'm getting, I don't know why, but I'm getting weird feelings about the guy that we're just talking to. Like,
he's giving us silver shit right now. He's a friend. We'll have to see later.
Yeah, right now he's doing us okay. We needed silver weapons. So,
but we could have just got it melted down and made our own, like, right?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we would, but also we could have stood out too if we done that, because remember, we don't want that weird captain dude to see us. So if you think about it, you know, if we ended up like going to a blacksmith in the town and Crenard's like, "Hey, can I borrow your forge?" Mm-hmm. Sure, I would offer to pay him, but then it would be like the captain might show up because he has a weapon he needed sharpened or something, and be like, "Why the hell are you here? Who the hell are you?" You know, I started asking questions and shit. You know, stuff I don't want to deal with.
Even Cremray doesn't want to do it here. He's thinking we go back to the Vistani and do it with them. At last we met them, I think I remember it being said that they're master silversmiths, which is a useful thing to have.
Wait, what?
The Vistani are master silversmiths. That's how they make their living.
Oh, the gypsies?
Mm-hmm.
Then we gotta go back there anyway, so that might just work out in our favor.
Mm-hmm. In terms of making silver weapons, there's basically two ways we can do it. We can temporarily do it by melting silver coins onto the weapons and basically creating a coat.
Yeah.
You can do that,
but
it won't last. The best way to do it is to literally remake the weapon with silver mixed in with the metal, and then that's how you do it.
Well, I feel bad because I think I'm the only one. I'm like the only one in the party that can use this +1 longbow.
Don't feel bad.
And I never hardly use it, so I don't know.
It's fine. It doesn't matter. Don't feel bad about that.
I made look. I have the silver. The reason I took the silver short sword from him is if something comes up to me, I can protect myself.
But you're right to take it, yeah.
Right, but I'm mostly range. Like I'm, being a rogue, I'm the one that's supposed to be not like a ranger, but like mid-range. Like I can pop a shot off when I can't be seen, and that's where I get most of my damage from. Because if I'm in melee combat, I don't get sneak attack. Unless you're in combat with it because it's paying attention to you, and I just come up from behind it and slash it. You know what I'm saying? But
I got you covered in that regard.
Yeah, that's where you're the barbarian, you're the tank. So I mean,
my characters turned out to be so fucking weird. It's like for Magical Secrets, I ended up taking like a cleric spell and two cleric spells, I think it was.
But that's not
fucking great. That's fine.
That's not a bad thing. I mean, because Revivify, I know why you need the diamond. Revivify, if one of us was to go down and we're dead, you come over, bring that diamond and say woof, and we're back,
Yeah, because we've got no clerics at all.
Right. So having one or two cleric spells helps a lot because it's not like you can just go to the store and say, I need potions.
It's kind of like what I wanted to do originally because, I wanted to play like a paladin, but there's no like really good. Like you either play a cleric or paladin, but there's no like in between combination of the two.
But you just made a bard cleric. That's pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah, but I'm basically turning myself into some kind of like holy avenger, basically. It's weird. I'm kind of like a crusader from Diablo. That's what I'm turning.
Yeah,
that's how I'm turning into.
Not a bad class.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's just I hope none of you die because I can't fucking do a damn thing about it.
Because we don't have a diamond, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't know the Vistani might have I'm just gonna start calling them the Gypsies. The Gypsies might have a diamond.
No way.
Dude, look what the fuck they have in the thing. They might have one.
I think this whole place, this is just like my personal preference. I've never played it. I don't know shit. But
me neither.
I think this whole place is just designed to not have any decent resources, just to fuck you over, lots of bad choices. And I think maybe the faster you get to dealing with this fucker Strahd or whatever he is, because he can't be a good guy from what we've found so far. And I don't know, I just feel like the faster you get there and the faster you get, but we're much higher than what we start off in this, right? Like, isn't this a level 1 kind of campaign? Like, if we were running this just straight up Strahd, right? We would be like level 2 right now or something, wouldn't we? Level 3?
The thing is, we don't really have a reason to go see Strahd. The information I got from Thanos, now Rictavio, is that the way to get back is through this mist, and it's the Vistani that apparently understand the mist. So, I mean, that's kind of what's leading me back to Vistani versus this really crazy town.
Yeah, but nobody's giving us any real answers. They would just keep jerking us off. Like, you know what I mean?
Like being jerked off. That's all right.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, we're getting jerked around.
What Kenneth was saying, Ken, was going to say, what level do you usually start this campaign at? Is it a level 1 campaign and then you level yourself up, or are you higher level when you come into this campaign?
You level yourself up as you go through the campaign. So
start at level 1.
It depends.
It does depend.
There's 2 ways you can start it. You can start it at 3rd level if you want to just start into the main story. Or there is kind of a clever little way that you come through the mists and you find yourself in one of the villages of this valley, and you have a little adventure in that village, in a specific location in that village, and that gets you basically up to level 3. Then you start the rest of the adventure.
And you can't leave; you're surrounded by the mist.
Yeah, it's sort of it's one of those things where it's kind of a little appetizer to sort of give you a taste of what you're in for the rest of the campaign.
Speaking before we go back live out for a break, I'm just saying, like, so like the last time we spent a whole lot of time just running around trying to investigate shit and doing this and that. Like, maybe we should just take more of a direct approach on this one. I don't know. That's just my thought.
See the Vistani and see what they have to say.
Yeah.
Like, in character, I feel like that's probably our safest bet. We know them. They kind of like us. We need to get some stuff forged.
That's why I suggested it earlier. Yeah. Now that we've got some weapons.
I'm in agreement with that.
That's where I was going.
Mulek piping in. Yeah, that's where I wanted to go.
Duh, guys.
All right. Hey, we do have a question. Ammo takes ranged weapons property until it's recovered. Amish, that's the way I play it. I think that's kind of what the rules imply, is that if you have a magical bow, then any ammunition you shoot out of that bow, gains the magical property from the time it leaves the bowstring until it hits its target. Then if you recover it and you put it back in a quiver and then you use it in a non-magical bow, it doesn't retain that magical property. That doesn't make it a +1 arrow forevermore. But it's just the magic of the weapon confers that property to it. Likewise, if you have an arrow that is blessed or magicked, has some kind of arcane energy baked into the actual arrow, then it doesn't matter whether you fire that from a normal bow or a magical bow. It's still going to be magical. And just because you use it on a normal bow doesn't mean that any other arrows you shoot out of that bow are going to be magical. So that's kind of the way I've always played. I think that's the way it works, and I'm too lazy to look it up if it's anything different.
It's
than that.
Open to interpretation, and I completely agree with your version. I played it with different kinds, and it's really easily abused if the arrows just become magical. If people do abuse that, it's stupid and they shouldn't.
The way
the coin, it's just not magical. It just sucks, right? And then you can't use any even normal arrows, and you get like 10 magical arrows if you're lucky.
The way I've always seen it, and I don't know if this is right, but it's like, so let's just say you have a longbow, right? A magical longbow, and then it does like the weapon itself does damage. So I always understood this, like if you just put normal ammunition in it, that's the damage it does until you run out of the ammunition, and then you can't use it as a weapon. Or you actually use something like a dragon arrow of slaying or something like that, some magical ammunition, then it does weapon damage plus whatever that special item does.
Okay. No, the way I play it. Okay. Regular arrow, I think, from a short bow does 1d6, right? So if it's a short bow +1, any arrow you pick up off the ground or buy from a Fletcher that you shoot out of that will do 1d6 +1 because it picks up the +1 from the bow.
Right.
You take that same arrow, you use it on a non-magical bow, it's back to doing just its regular 1d6.
I'd say you probably take that higher, like magical, whichever magic was.
What I'm saying is a longbow +1 does 1d8 plus whatever your modifier is, right? In magical damage. Okay.
Right.
By itself, and so you have to have normal ammunition to use to fire at it, right? It's not like you just pull the string back and stuff comes out.
Right. You're right. Yeah. You still have to have normal ammunition. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And
I was misunderstanding what you meant.
And then what I meant by like an arrow of dragon slaying is a special magical item. So it's like,
and it will get an extra +1 on the damage from the bow, over and above what it normally does. So it will do its normal dragon slaying damage, and then it will do the +1 because of the +1 bow. But we're getting way off topic, so let's go back and pick back up where we left off before the break. Amish and everybody on the stream, that's what happens in a D&D game. You get sidetracked with a conversation and it can meander off and you never get back to the game if you're not careful. So, Falliser, you had asked Rictavio something just before the break, and I delayed responding to you. What was your question again for him?
Well, he was giving me this silvered magical inlaid cross of Lathander.
Yes. And you had a question about it. So what was your question about it?
My question is what does it do?
Well, it's a holy symbol. It will help you to turn the undead. It will. It's a particularly potent symbol to the undead of Barovia because The ancient religion that was in this valley before it got its curse was tied to Lathander. In fact, there are a couple of allies that I have been looking forward to meeting. And now that you are here, I'm wondering if perhaps we could travel together and go seek the help of these allies. If you are here against your will and you want to leave, then the only sure way that I know of leaving is to deal with the Lord of this land. And by dealing with the Lord of this land, lift the curse that is on it.
Okay, let me get this straight. So, this symbol doesn't actually do anything except scare undead. Or / intimidating.
Yes, you, as a cleric of Helm, you have a holy symbol of Helm, yes?
Yes, of course.
And when you present your holy symbol of Helm against undead, it helps you to make them flee, yes?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, out of game, that's kind of like the classic trope of how a cleric turns undead. It sort of just presents its holy symbol and says, "Back, you foul undead creatures," and they go, "Ah!" and they,
turn undead. Yeah,
yeah, they go running away. Rictavio seems to think that because the pre-Strahd folk of this land were adherents of Lathander, and there are some ancient churches of Lathander sprinkled through Barovia that were churches that were consecrated to saints that were followers of Lathander.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a channel.
It's a little bit more potent than your average holy symbol, is what he seems to think. Now, mechanically, whether that's true or not, we don't know. But it does the same thing any other holy symbol of a good deity does.
Is it like a channel divinity kind of thing?
A channel divinity is a power that clerics have. Now, if you give that holy symbol to Krenraid, he can hold it up in front of a vampire all day, and he cannot use channel divinity to turn undead, so it's probably not going to help him.
I just beat the shit out of the vampire with it. It wouldn't
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Krauser's not going to be rude. He'll take the.
He'll make him take it. He'll be like, "You'll take this symbol."
I'm turning the undead by beating them up with it.
Krauser can't even
take the symbol if I have to shove it down your throat.
I'm gonna beat your brains out with it if you have any.
He can't even turn undead, but he's not telling anybody that. He's gonna keep that to himself.
Oh, okay. All right. So
you could channel divinity, though, could you not?
No.
You can't? Oh, is that a spell?
That's why it sucks not having a cleric Barovia.
Second level ability.
It's a second level cleric ability, and he's only a first level cleric. So yeah, that's it's funny that I'll have to tell you guys about a funny difference from the old days with that. Okay.
Apparently the music's still playing, Gally. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, crap. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you.
It wasn't me. It was one of the chats. So thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Goonie. All right. So now all the music is down. I got busy talking before we ended the break, and I forgot to turn the music off.
So I think we were headed to the Vistani.
This man wants to take us to his allies.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he also has a couple of other things that he will offer you. He has a worn leather case that contains 3 sharpened wooden stakes, a sack of garlic, a jar of salt, a box of holy wafers, 6 vials of holy water, a polished steel mirror, and a bone scroll tube.
Oh, he's got a vampire kit. Jeez.
I'm amazed all this variety of implements. Like,
Abinadom said we need all this stuff.
Well, I trust Uncle Abinadom.
What's this about?
We told you earlier. Oh, that's right. You forgot.
The stakes. Hey, Rictavio will say the stakes go through the heart of a vampire.
If you can get close enough.
How much for the whole kit and caboodle?
This, for all of this, including the scrolls, I will give you, if you choose to go your own way, I will give it to you for 100 gold. If you choose to come with me, then I will give it to you because you're my companions and you owe me nothing.
Is this what you were searching for?
This is going to help in what I am searching for. But I need allies. And no offense meant. I think you will need more powerful allies as well. I don't think you all, nor myself, are strong enough on our own to deal with the foe.
They're more like any allies.
Why the sudden change? Last night you were a bit hesitant to share with me.
Well, the ravens, they brought me news in the night. I've learned to rely on them.
And how long will this task take? And where exactly does it take us?
Oh, well, I'm glad that you asked. And he pulls out an oilskin map of Barovia. And he shows that to you. And he says, we are here in the quaint little town of Vallaki. Here. Where we need to go is we need to go to the town of I believe it's that. Let me double check in my book.
We're going on an adventure.
Come on, where the hell are you? There we go. Yes.
Does this through hearing all this stuff that we've talked about with this character, Palliser, like, he wants to make an insight check, and the reason why he wants to make an insight check is, can this guy be trusted? He says Ontario are, just like other motives.
I talked him up the night before, and I want to think he was on the level with me, but I can't remember. out of character,
okay.
I can't remember.
You did roll an insight check.
I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah.
I can't remember whether you're in. You got the reading he was on the level, but I can't remember whether your insight check was any good or not. So
yeah, I don't remember that either.
And that might track with Mulek not necessarily trusting whether he's the best one to know if people are really selling.
Did I ever? Well, Mulek talked to him. Let me Let me check his insight and see if he's on the level.
Anybody who wants to can do an
I'm trying
insight check.
I'm trying to explain to you why I'm doing it. I already know he is not being honest and forthright with this because he's been holding stuff back. But I want to do an insight for the purpose of
23.
Like,
Go ahead.
Does he have nefarious motives? Like, I mean, I'm trying to. I don't know. I just don't. Something about him. I don't trust him as a character. But I'll roll.
Okay, so
none of us quite trust him. Yeah, that's for sure. And he doesn't trust us, as he shouldn't.
Okay. Faldor, you believe he's not telling you anything that's untrue. Mulek, you're not quite sure this guy, and Faliger, he might be telling you the truth, but he's probably holding something back. Your check doesn't, ease your mind, but it doesn't make you any more suspicious either, basically. But anyway, he says, currently we are here. There is an abbot in a town called Kresk to the west. I believe it would behoove us to go there. And he may know of some other allies. It's rumored that to the north, on the far side of Lake Zarevich, there is a powerful wizard who may befriend us and may help us. But there are dangers all about.
Well, with Fluffy there, looks like good protection.
Who's the cutest little fluffy puppy?
Yes, and let's see if we have is this? Yes, this is. So based on the way the road goes, the journey to Kresk, that's probably about 3 or 4 miles, 5 miles, 6. It's a couple hours to walk to Kresk, or with a pair of horses to pull the wagon. It's a couple hours to get to Kresk.
Now, Rictavio, I remember you saying that you're trying to avoid the Vistani, but we kind of had plans to stop by there today. Do you mind if we make a quick pit stop, and if you don't feel comfortable, maybe hanging back?
Well, I will remain here at the inn. Do you think you can be back by lunch? And it's still maybe an hour after breakfast by this time.
I think so. It gives us a reason to get out of there.
Should be able to finish my work within an hour and a half at very most.
I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you until lunch. If you don't return by then, I'll wait for you until sundown. If I don't see you by tomorrow morning, then I will presume that your path has taken you another way, and I will wish you luck. And then he holds that bundle. He says, but if you want to take this now, I'll have to ask for the 100 gold, just in case I don't see you again.
How about if it looks like we're going to be delayed, I have a way to communicate back to you so that we might hook up.
Ah, okay. You are one of those twiddlers of the fingers, I see.
See? I'm not the only one who says that.
Of course not, Master Dwarf.
Crummy looks very proud of himself.
And Mulek just kind of flexes his fingers, just kind of works his fingers.
Okay.
Before
Rictavio turns to Krenraid and just kind of raises an eyebrow a little bit, like,
Very, very strong fingers. Trust me, very, very strong fingers.
Before we leave, no one's bothered to ask a very important question, and that question is who is this Baron Lord Strahd or whatever the hell his name is, and why do you think he needs to be defeated?
Well, that requires a bit of a story. If you're not in a rush, I will tell you. As it happens, Strahd von Zarevich was a count, a prince, a soldier, and conqueror. He was heir to the throne of his father, King Barov. When his father died, Strahd waged long bloody wars against his family's enemies. He and his army cornered the last of these enemies in a remote mountain valley before slaying them all. Strahd named the valley Barovia after his deceased father, and was so struck by its scenic beauty that he decided to settle here. Queen Ravenovia, Strahd's mother, lamented the death of her husband, and she feared her son Strahd. War had made her son cold and arrogant. She kept her younger son Sergei away from the battlefield. Strahd envied the love and attention his mother visited upon his brother, so in Barovia he remained. Peace made Strahd restless. He began to feel like his best years were behind him. Unwilling to go the way of his father, Strahd studied magic and forged a pact with what I have only heard described in whispers as dark powers. Dark powers of the Shadowfell. And in return, they promised him immortality. Strahd scoured his conquered lands for artisans and wizards and brought them to the Valley of Barovia, commanded them to raise a castle to rival the magnificent fortress of his ancestral homeland. He named the castle Ravenloft after his mother, to demonstrate his love for her. When it was complete, Strahd commanded his mother and his brother to come to Barovia and stay with him. Sergei eventually took up residence at Ravenloft, but Ravenovia passed away while traveling to her namesake. In sorrowful disappointment, Strahd sealed his mother's body in a crypt beneath the castle, laying beside his father. That is more or less the story of how he came. And then how the land was cursed. Well, that involves a beautiful young woman named Tatiana that Strahd fell in love with. Only Tatiana fell in love with Strahd's younger brother, Sergei.
I knew it. Please carry on.
And when Strahd learned that Tatiana loved his brother, Strahd allowed them to marry. And he, in fact, helped them to plan the wedding. And he hosted the wedding at Castle Ravenloft. But then, on the morning that they were to be wed, Strahd's rage boiled over. He gazed into a mirror, thinking of his life, always alone, and yet with Tatiana agonizingly close, and yet ever removed from him in the arms of his brother. And something inside him broke. Strahd went to his brother's room, ostensibly to pin the corsage on his brother's lapel. But instead, he plunged a dagger into his brother's heart, and then he drank his brother's blood. This sealed his evil pact between Strahd and the dark powers that had led him to Barovia. And he chased Tatiana through the gardens of the castle, determined to make her accept him and love him. But instead of acquiescing to his desires, Tatiana hurled herself off of the high walls of Castle Ravenloft and dashed herself to death on the rocks far below. Treacherous castle guards, they shot Strahd, seeking to kill him, but he would not die. Instead of dying, it is said that he became a mist, and that mist tore through the guards who shot him, slaughtering them. And then, as he stood, a conqueror, in the courtyard of his castle, he gazed up, and in the clouds, illuminated by the sun, he saw the faces of his mother and his father looking down and weeping over him. And then he gave a command, and the sun has not shone through the clouds ever since. This is the evil that has doomed Barovia and cursed Strahd. Never able to die, never able to leave, never able to be with the one woman he loves, no matter how many times, within the mists or outside them, she is reborn into the world. Oh, he has chased her countless times, and always she eludes them. But he lives in some desperate fantasy that one day he will find Tatiana, and she will recognize him as her true love. And he will know happiness. As long as Strahd remains, every man, woman, and child in this valley is cursed and doomed. I don't think that's fair to them. What about you?
That's an epic tale, my friend.
You learned all of that in the month you've been here?
Oh no. Oh no. No. And it's no coincidence that our carnival came across Vistani. I stalked the Vistani. For the Vistani are Strahd's special chosen ones. You see, you asked about Barovia, and you asked about Strahd, but I'll tell you this about the Vistani for free. In one of his many battles that he had, he was wounded, and he would have died except for a band of travelers, found him, left for dead, laying beside his dead horse. And they took pity on him. They took them into his wagons, and they brought him back to their land of Barovia, and they healed him. And when Strahd later had forced his enemies here to where he could end them, he always remembered his debt of life that he owes the Vistani. And so, as he made his pact with the dark powers, he said that the Vistani are always free to come and go through the mists. And the dark powers, while the Vistani themselves never asked for it, dark powers did give them a gift of sorts, that they could use the mist to travel to and from Barovia, but also to and from other demi-planes that help them cover great distances in the material world and even across different planes of the multiverse. So they are the only ones who benefit from Strahd's curse. But if you talk to some of them, you can see a tiredness in their eyes. I think even they feel a connection to this place, and they always feel like they have to return. And yet when they are here, it seems like they cannot wait to leave again because they feel the oppression of this place. They suffer as much as anyone else. Well, less than everyone else, but they suffer nonetheless.
I see.
You mean they could have helped us this whole damn time? As he looks at Mulek.
And Rictavio says, "Oh, they know what measure of blessing they have comes from just one source. No Vistani in his or her right mind would ever do anything to openly cross Strahd. They could help you if Strahd bade them to help you.
Sounds like we don't even need to go talk to him. What do you think, boys think?
They may have information that may still come in handy. I think it's still worth a quick stop.
All right. He stands up and let's get a move on then.
We will meet up. We will meet up again as soon as we can. And if we get slightly delayed, I will send you a message.
Very well. Then I will hold on to this for now. He tucks the bundle that has the scrolls and everything back into back in the wagon.
Oh, by the way, what scrolls? What type of scrolls are those? Might I ask?
What type of scrolls are those? Those are No. Where are you? You're here.
Scroll of Revivify? Wow.
Shuzbutt. Okay, Come on, F.
All I keep getting from this place, and I whisper over to Mulek, all I keep getting from this place is confusion and deceit. That's it. Now, he's not being totally, as we're walking away, mind you, he's not being totally untruthful, but something just doesn't add up in this place, and I can't put my finger on it. But I do get the sense that this Strahd guy is pretty wicked.
Okay, so the scrolls are a scroll of protection from fiends and a scroll of protection from undead.
Perfect. Thank you. We will definitely meet up again.
I look forward to it, gentlemen.
It was nice meeting you, Fluffy.
The Vistani. They are... If you are kind to them, they will be hospitable to you. But don't cross them, because they have the ability to put a curse or a hex upon you. You may not believe in such things, but if Vistani ever gives you the evil eye, you will believe. You will.
How do you know that? They can do that. Have you seen it firsthand?
I have suffered from it. I suffered from it for a time, and as far as the Vistani know, I believe they still think that I suffer from it. But I have friends, and a few tricks up my sleeve. Before we came to Barovia, I had one of my friends lift the curse from me.
Before you came to Barovia?
Yes.
So you were cursed by the Vistani before?
Oh yes. Just because they leave the mist doesn't mean they don't still have the gifts that the Dark Powers gave them as part of their pact with Strahd.
Shall we head off then, so we can get back?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you guys, we're gonna go back to the click the wrong tab here. We're this town over here. All right. So you make your way from here. You go and then you go You go out this gate. You don't see any sign of Ezek this morning. And then you go down the road and you turn on the path and you go south, and it leads you to the Vistani camp where we were before. And here you go. Oh, Shazbot. Okay.
Shazbot's got to be one of my new favorite things.
Let's see. So that is off. And yeah, that's off. Put that on there. Okay. Actually, I want to try something here to see if this works. God bless it.
Gally, the way that you get angry is a blessing. I'll just say that.
Okay, so we'll do this, and we'll do that, and then we'll do... No, it doesn't work. Okay, so they lied. This is why every time I see that they've changed something with dynamic lighting, I always hope that maybe they've gotten it working, but it never seems like it.
I was going to say what I did figure out yesterday. Is our character tokens all updated with dynamic lighting where we can see, like 60 feet or whatever?
Well, that may be the problem. Is you guys don't have there's none of your tokens on this. I don't think any.
Yeah, so it would look dark until our tokens go on there, and then the dynamic lighting would then have an effect based on how far we can see.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be daytime, so I don't see a reason why the dynamic lighting would even turn.
Yeah, it's weird.
There's supposed to be a daylight mode that's supposed to just make it look like it's light all the time, but that doesn't apparently work. Or at least there's other arcane settings you have to make it work, and I don't have time to fool with it. So you are back at the camp, and of course all of the Vistani are there, and Lugash and his brother are there, and little Arabelle is there, and Lugash sees you coming, and you see more of those strange-looking elves that you met last time. And Lugash says, "Oh, my friends, you returned to us." And he looks around, and then he gives Thal'dor sort of a big bear hug and a shake of his hand, gives Falliger sort of a hug and a shake of his hand, and reaches out 2 hands to shake Krenraid's hands, and then he puts an arm on Mulek's shoulder and pulls Mulek close and sort of whispers in your ear, "I trust you have your gift stored away safely where it will not interact with the children."
Yes, it is secured. You have no need to worry.
Good. Then you are all welcome. Welcome back. What brings you back to our camp? I know the girls will be happy to see you.
Oh, funny, Lugash, you're funny. No, we're stopping by to see if your great aunt Eva has returned. You had mentioned that she would want to meet us.
Yes. She has not yet returned. I believe it will be either tonight or tomorrow night. She will be here before sundown. I know that before sundown on the morrow she will be here for sure, because there is a festival the following day that we are having.
What was her name? Because I don't remember that being her name.
Great Aunt Eva. That's what I have written in my notes.
Oh.
Yeah, his great aunt Eva.
Okay.
The festival you speak of, is this different from the Festival of the Sun?
You speak of that fool Burgomeister in Valaki. Oh, the Festival of the Sun.
I didn't know that you had I didn't know that you had another festival planned.
Oh no, we Vistani, we are a people. We know that life is short, and the best way to endure it is with laughter. We have festivals as often as we can. And tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, no, wait, whatever it is. Anyway, the same day, it's 2 days from now. Is that what?
Yeah,
is that what I said earlier?
Yep,
okay.
2 days.
In 2 days, we will have reason to celebrate.
Well, that's not ominous, is it, mate? Come on. You can't leave us hanging in the dust like that. What's that about?
We're all friends here. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, maybe we could help.
The best way you could help is to join us for the festival. There will be much, and he looks at Crenraid. There will be much ale, and he looks at Faliger. There will be much dance and song and singing, and he looks at Saldor. He says, there will be many games of chance where a skillful person may wager and win a few coppers or a few silvers, perhaps even a gold or two. And then he looks at Mulek. He says, and there will be wonders to behold.
Wonders. Speaking of wonders, do you happen to have or know anyone who might have any precious gems for trade?
Precious gems for trade. For trade. Well, what would we be trading?
For
I
purchase.
know. Purchase. Okay. Let me see.
Well, I notice you have a lot of pretty young single women around here in this Vistani camp. My friend Mulek here, he's unwed. Perhaps
we're not trading Mulek for a diamond.
We've already covered this. You need to stop. You need to stop smoking whatever you're
around the sides.
Yes, and Lukash says, yes, I remember that your friend Mulek is unwed, and also that he's very shy.
I'm not shy.
All the best ones are. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure you have a more forward girl in mind.
He looks Mulek up and down. He says, "There's not much meat upon your bones. I know a few Vistani girls who would fill your belly and make you very happy."
Oh, Lugash, you're funny. But remember, my heart is.
Yes, your heart belongs. And he sort of does this exaggerated thing where he takes both of his hands and he holds them to his breast and he raises his eyes as if he's, looking off at some yonder moon. And he says, yes, your heart pines for one who is far away. And then he looks at Thaldor and he winks. He says, and you do not yet realize that means that you have the freedom to play.
But then Thaldor also looks over at Mulek and remembers that they would probably kill us if you tried to play with one of their women and left. Isn't that right, Lugash?
Oh, yes. Vistani women. We Vistani, we hold the honor of our women sacred and dear. If one truly catches your heart, you would make an honest woman of her. We trust this.
See, told you. See, that's kind of a double entendre there. You were sitting there saying, one can play, and I'm like, well, you can't play, if you put a ring on it. So I don't know how that's playing.
And he looks at Mulek and he says, the trick that every Vistani lad learns when he is still too young to leave his mother's apron strings is that the trick is to not get caught.
I like this guy. What are you even worried about? Hey, look, so I'm also pining for my dear old lass, and that happens to be the heat of a forge. I don't suppose you'd allow me the use of it. Of course, I'm happy to pay. I've got some gear that needs to be maintained and other bits and bobs.
A forge. Well, we do not have a forge here, but it just so happens that the band of Vistani that my great aunt travels with, they have a traveling forge. It's a marvelous contraption. It can be disassembled and stored easily in a wagon and carried. It's got the anvil, and it's got the forge tools. It's got the pit for the coals can be assembled. It's got the bellows, and they even carry the barrels of oil and salted oil and water for quenching the weapons.
Okay.
So that it's potential. I don't think that you would find a forge in a backwater town like Valaki, but let's see. I believe over in the town of Kresk is a bit more advanced. I think you might find a forge there if you travel as far as Kresk. Or of course, our Lord Strahd has a forge at the castle. But you would have to do something to earn yourselves an invitation to the castle.
Oh, I'm sure we would. You know, we are great company. The world famous bard would probably still need an introduction. I get it. Just kind of sad I'm not going to get to see my forge sooner. I suppose you have access to like a... Okay, can I borrow a cooking pot then?
A cooking pot?
Yeah.
He gives you a look and he says, will I get it back? And would it be suitable for cooking in after that? Or would you prefer to purchase a cooking pot?
I mean, you can still cook with it, but I think I prefer to purchase one.
Ah, very well. Oh, yes. I think we can set you up with a fine cooking pot. And he sort of figures out what you mean. I presume that you mean like some heavy cast iron pot.
Correct.
Or something like that.
Okay, nail on the head, yep.
Yeah. They have one. They'll sell it to you for 5 silver. And it's of human make, but it's well made. It's, you can tell this thing has been used for thousands of cycles, and it's very sturdy. It's not, it doesn't look like the metal is aging or or weakened or anything. So it's a nice sturdy pot. Not as good as a dwarven pot, but
as long as the iron's thick enough, that's all I really have to.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a nice heavy thing. It weighs about 20 pounds empty. It's a big sized pot. It's like one of those that you would do a big huge stew in, and the stew might serve 20 or 30 people out of it. It's that kind of big cooking pot.
Perfect. This will be incredibly useful. I'm just going to go play around in the woods for a bit. You guys do what you need to do. I'm going to go and search for some branches, some thick ones preferably.
Do you need any help?
Yeah. Wouldn't say no.
Go give him a hand.
Lugash says, the camp is patrolled, but I would not stray in the woods after dark. And foul creatures wander the woods of Barovia, and they do not approach our tents, but we do not allow our young men and women to wander in the woods after dark.
Oh, and I'm sorry to break it to you.
It would not be wise to allow our guests to do so either.
That's very kind. I'm sorry to break it to you like this, but we're actually in a bit of a rush, so our reunion will have to be short but sweet. We just merely wanted to see you and how things were doing. I'm going to go grab those branches.
I run off with him.
Okay, so they head off, and He sort of looks after them curiously, and then Falliger speaks up.
Yeah, I was wondering. Well, I mean, they're having a festival, guys. Shouldn't we at least attend it? And he was trying to think of he was thinking of more important things about oh well, what kind of protocols / customs do they have just in case things get crazy during the festival? But then he forgets to ask the question because he's more adamant asking about when is his great aunt gonna just is she gonna be at this festival or?
Oh yes, she will be. Her wagons will be here no later than sundown tomorrow. The festival is the next day. She has promised to be here. And if you all are able to still be here, or if you indeed must quickly travel, if you can make it back in time for the festival, my great aunt would dearly love to meet you. In fact, if she does not meet you here, if you stay in Barovia a time, you may find your path crossing her wagons sooner rather than later.
She's very wise on the dealings with Barovia.
Oh, she is very wise. My family's blood runs deep in the history of this place. And my great aunt knows much of the lore. Far more than I do.
She sounds somebody I'd be really fascinated to speak with.
As I said, she will be eager to meet you, partly as a doting great aunt wanting to thank you for saving the life of my daughter, her great grand niece, but also because she finds outsiders fascinating. She would be very interested in speaking with you.
Well, we don't want to be rude,
No, well, tell me, is there... Your friend seemed like he was in something of a hurry. Is there a particular place you need to get? Perhaps I could give you directions, the shortest way, the easiest way to travel.
Let me speak with him for a little bit, and I'll get back to you.
Ah, very well, very well. I'm glad to see. I must say, I'm glad to see that the four of you made it out of Vallaki without running afoul of Izek Strasny. I know this because I heard no bells of alarm in the town. I saw no fires of buildings going up. There was no mad dash of horsemen riding out of the village. And so I know you did not run afoul of him. And if you had come back and half the village were burned down, well, then I might think that otherwise had happened.
Well, thank you. If you'll excuse me. And he walks to catch up.
Of course. Okay, Mulek.
Mulek's still standing there, upset. So, gems? Diamonds?
Gems, diamonds. No. I'm afraid we don't have any. You have seen the colorful jewelry and gems of the Vistani women. I will tell you a little secret. We are a poor people. Most of the gems they wear are colored glass. It is true that sometimes if we meet people who annoy us, we will do our best to convince them that the colored glass stones are gems and try to sell them for whatever we can. But you are our friends. Any stones you see from us will not suit your purposes if you need true gemstones.
I understand. Is there anywhere in Barovia where we might be able to acquire precious gems?
Well, your friend asked about a forge. I would tell you the same about gems. Perhaps in Kresk. It is a slightly wealthier town. Little bit more industry. And for certain, if you all were invited to the castle, and if you were friends of our Lord Strahd, he certainly could. He certainly has gemstones, and whether you would be able to purchase any from him, or whether you would do him some service that would cause him to give you some as gifts, that is between you and him.
Will Strahd be coming to your festival? Does he ever make his way down here?
Oh, heavens no. Our Lord may be a kind and giving Lord, but he does not mix with common folk like us. And we do not presume to bother him in his castle. He sees to our needs, and we thank him for his protection.
Who then do you go to when you have a need or a question of this Strahd?
Well, if there ever is a need, we know those who serve him. We have our ways of talking to some of his loyal servants who occasionally ride forth from the castle, and we give a message to them. We know where we can find them, and they take our concerns to him, and they bring back his edicts to us.
Very good. Yeah, we again, we don't know how long we're going to be in this area. We like to move around, and I would very much like to meet your great aunt. I'm not sure. I'll have to confer with my companions to see if we might be able to stay for that long. I was under the impression that she would possibly be returning today, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
She may be here by nightfall. I do not know for sure. All I know is that she will be here for the festival in 2 days' time.
How is poor Bluto? I assume you are still holding him alive until she returns?
Poor Bluto. He is alive, yes. And he has not been mistreated. We will await what my great aunt says upon her arrival. This is another reason why I think she would want to talk with you. You, more so than even your other companions, you seem to have a wisdom about you that I think bodes well. It is. I can tell you this truly. The girl who waits for you at home is a very lucky woman. If anything were to happen to her, I would pledge to be at your side to help you avenge her. And if she ever broke your heart, I know many lovely Vistani women who would never mistreat a man such as you.
Well, this I can say, I know for a sure fact that she could never, ever break my heart. And I leave it at that.
He kind of looks at you, and there seems to be some thought. He has heard something, perhaps something you intended to say, perhaps something that you did not intend to say. Perhaps he heard something that you didn't say at all. But he heard something, that's clear in his eyes, and he files that away. And with that, okay, we still have about 5 minutes.
I will say I go to try and find. I try to.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
my crew
finished getting the woods.
Let's go back to the guy. Right. Yeah, let's go back to the guys in the woods. What are you guys doing?
Oh, we don't need much. We just need some rather thick branches. So there'll probably be a couple dotted around. If not, we could just cut some from a nearby tree and head back. We don't need very much.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just helping him.
And then when you say you head back, are you heading back to Vallaki? Or are you heading back to the Vistani camp?
It should only take like 10 minutes.
I was under the impression they just went off to the woods and then we're kind of going to meet up again, just kind of on the outskirts of their camp so we can talk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That too. Okay. Yeah.
What do you boys think about staying for this festival and speaking to this great aunt that everybody seems to be talking about?
I have no idea, Falger.
I think it sounds interesting.
This is my view. If we can get Rictavio to at least wait until the conclusion of the festival, or festivals, I should say, my recommendation is to stay here. I think there's much intelligence we can gather from this group. And although part of me really wants to meet this great aunt of theirs, and part of me worries a little bit. We still need to be very careful.
Hell yes, we do. I'm still in the back of my mind worried that I might somehow end up betrothed or something around here.
Well, if you stop talking
keep out of trouble.
If you keep talking about getting into girls' pants, I'm gonna pop you upside the head. And don't you ever
do I ever say such things? I don't talk that way. Come on now.
Insinuate that I need a girl.
Oh hell, I was just jokes, joshing with you.
Well, you do know, Mulek. I know you're not batting for the other team, so it's okay.
It's a sensitive matter.
Oh, excuse me. The sword for the other team.
Well, that's all you had to say. Hell, we're not mind readers. You could have just told us. Yeah, we didn't know it was a sensitive subject.
I didn't know you were in a team. What kind of team is it?
Kenray, it was a joke, okay?
It was a metaphor.
You guys are unbearable. You guys are unbearable.
If he likes other guys, Kenray, that's a joke.
So
that he can fuck other guys. I don't care.
So what do you think? Do you think I should reach out to Tavio, see if he can wait a few days?
Well, hell, he's waited this long. Why can't he wait longer?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He said he needed to go right by tonight, right? What is that about?
I don't trust that guy.
I don't. Well, go ahead, Falger.
Well, he's got all this damn knowledge and lore about the place, and he knows how bad Strahd is, but doesn't seem to have told us anything about whether he's tried to stop him or not or whatever. So it's just something don't add up.
He's wanting. So when I met him in the inn, he was searching for something. And I think he's given us a little bit more insight into what he's searching for. And it appears that he's been searching and working towards some goal. And we know that he is not a fan of Strahd.
Don't you think it would be interesting to find his allies that he keeps speaking about?
Exactly. But there are more than one way to get into this Strahd's castle.
Well, he's talking about Vistani curses and this and bullshit that. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I necessarily want to snub this great aunt. You know, we did save her kinfolk, and perhaps we ought to stick around just to stay on their good side.
But if he's saying what I think the guy was saying about how they're really close with Lord Strahd and that they are Strahd's pets is what kind of how he put that, Galley, right?
No, it was more like Strahd felt like he owed the Vistani people sort of a life debt.
I got you. So he's their chosen people, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's why they're... Yeah. So I think Thaldor's putting 2 and 2 together as a character, not meta, but as a character. That he's looking at the Vallaki and then the Vistani, and he's looking at them and he's putting 2 together. Okay, these people are... He doesn't give a damn about these people, but he really cares about these. So maybe Falliger, and then I say this out loud, Falliger, you might have something going there. And Mulek, listen, here up, and Crinraid, just smile. You got a pretty smile. But look, here's the thing. So here's the thing. All right. I think we do need to stay with the, Vistani and maybe see how their festival, what's going on, meet the Great Aunt, because they are in our debt. Or they're in our debt for the fact that we saved the little girl. How about we stay here, we game plan. If due to wait, he's waited, like Falliger said, waited this long, he can wait a little longer. And then maybe we can, after this festival here, see what the hell they're doing and then make our decision then. Because right now we have no idea what we're going to do.
Yeah, isn't that what I just said?
In a nutshell, yeah, sorry. I just kind of overthought it just a little bit, but that happens. But yeah, I think it is a light bulb moment.
Let me step over here a second, and I quickly cast sending towards Rictavio.
Okay.
And the message is, Rictavio, it's Mulek. Can you wait until the conclusion of the Festival of the Sun in 2 days before we go find your allies?
And the message you get back is, you are free to attend the festival, although I don't advise it. I will be leaving for Kresk in the morning. If we meet, come find me there.
He doesn't want to wait. He advises he's leaving for Kresk in the morning.
I'm a little confused. What did you tell him?
I just asked him to wait for 2 days. He
for what?
For us to meet and go with him, accompany him to Kresk.
Did you tell him we were asked to kind of attend a Vistani thank you party?
No, but I don't think it would have made a difference to him.
And as you ponder what Rictavio's message might mean, as you ponder his reasons that he may want to leave Vallaki in the morning, we will go ahead and bring the curtain down on our session. Viewers, holy buckets of Murgatroyd, thank you guys for hanging out with us this evening. We really appreciate you guys being here. And it excites me to no end to throw to this particular section of the night where I ask our players to say what's coming up, because Thaldor has a really exciting announcement about something that's coming up on the Doors of Your channel tomorrow night. Thaldor, please tell everybody about what's happening.
Yes. So tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be DMing and hosting Waterdeep Dragon Heist for a party of 5 members. And as I was going to tell James earlier, one of them has never played D&D before. So this is going to be really exciting for me. This is like my third or fourth time actually DMing a game. First time DMing a module. So it's gonna be interesting. So if you want to stop by, it'll be 8 p.m. on my Doors of Fear channel, and we'll see you there if you want to see what Dragon Heist is all about.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Doors of Fear, and you can find. I think you can find a link to Doors of Fear's channel on my channel as well. But just look him up on Twitch. You can find him there. And Paul, so excited that you could be back with us. We understand work last week. When the NIH calls, you got to answer. So,
a few people could die, whatever.
What's going on with you between now and next Thursday on Twitch?
So I'm taking some time off because, quite frankly, I damn well deserve it. So I'm not taking part in any other streams except for the one I normally do on the Sunday, but seeing as that coincides, I'm going to ignore it. Instead, big up the Action Sturge. Very good guys, very positive group. They've recently become rather popular as well, so they're taking off. So big up those guys. They put a lot of effort in. It's a team effort, and they're on Twitch as well. It's Twitch TV/the Action Sturge with a T instead of an U. But yeah, they're good guys.
Okay.
They're on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. CST.
Okay. Sturge, like the flying thing that brings your blood. Okay. Action Sturge. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So, because I think when I had mentioned them one time when you were not here, I think I misspoke. I think I called them the Action Surge.
I think I've done that a few times as well, so don't worry about it. That's probably my influence.
Okay. All right. So Action Sturge, look for them on Wednesday nights. Then what's coming up here on this channel? Wow. We've got a lot of exciting stuff going on. We are ramping up for a brand new campaign on Saturday nights. It's the same group of players that played through the Lost Mine of original D&D. They decided they would like to try a second edition campaign. And because I only want to prep for one homebrew game a week, I am running them through some classic 2E content. We're going to start creating characters on Saturday night, and then our first level 1 through 8 adventure that we will be going through, we will be doing the original Temple of Elemental Evil. So we will be stomping around the venerable village of Hamlet, and then going and finding what's happening at the Temple of Elemental Evil, and then we will be traipsing around the world of Greyhawk for that particular campaign. Then on Sunday night or Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern. Boy, if you didn't catch last week, you should go and watch the stream of that. We had an epic battle. The party fought against one of the 5 spirit dragons that guard the entire realm of Kamigawa. And it was such an epic battle that 2 out of the 5 party members outright were killed. Not dropped to 0, not making death saves, killed by that in that fight, but they prevailed. So we are going to start on Sunday with the aftermath of this, and there's going to be some interesting things that happen. So show up 2 p.m. Eastern time Sunday to see what happens in that game. And then Monday, we will finish off our 5-part series on goblins. We will be talking about how you can build a campaign from tier 1 all the way through tier 4 where goblins are your antagonists for your party, and talk about one way that you can create that and how you might populate that. And it's just going to be like a thumbnail sketch, but it's one idea you can run with, and it's just sort of a way to get people thinking about, okay, if I want a theme for a campaign, and the theme being a monster that's, kind of always recurring as a recurring enemy for my PCs, how would I do that? And goblins are a great monster because of their vast numbers and their different variety that you can do that with. All right, and then I am going to go and look for somebody from the small streamer community. We are a part of two teams here on the Galabond stream. We are part of the Game Rebel Network, and we are also part of the small streamer community team. And so I want to see who all is active tonight on that. Let's see, we have...
I don't care who you are. We all need to feel comfortable gaming.
Okay.
Not like this.
Oh.
Okay.
We have some... Oh, well, here we go. We've got some retro gaming going on. So, all right, we'll go ahead and we will raid Borg's. Borg's RPG Quest. So
it's a whole new way to Chipotle.
All right, everyone. Oh, fudge!
I could actually make it. Huh.
It would help if I spelled raid correctly. Everybody, go ahead and have a great week.
Carry over.
Say hello to Borgs when you get over there, and we will talk to you next Thursday, if not before. Take care, everyone. Good night now. And players, we are out.
Yay! What a fun stream.
Yeah, that was a fun. Come on, you dumb thing. Oh yeah.